It's a job that not everyone is cut out to do. Being a caregiver takes empathy and compassion, but also commitment. But for Steve Anderson, the role comes naturally. He volunteers through CaringMatters as a caregiver for Michael Casey, who suffers from cancer.
I'm at ease in circumstances of crisis and illness, and so I can be that calming presence and where other people might be anxious.
The two immediately hit it off. Steve took a genuine interest in Michael's life. He makes sure he gets to the doctor, takes him to the grocery store, and just pays attention to his all-around well-being. At one point, when it was clear Michael's cancer was getting the best of him, it was Steve who took the initiative to get Michael moved to Oak Manor, where he would receive the care he needed.
Michael and I have come through 3 or 4 hospitalizations for him, and I think like any relationship, the time came when Michael decided maybe he could trust me and trust my counsel. And so this last time, we got out to the bank because he had saved enough money to pay for his own cremation. And we put that contract in place, and he was in bad shape.
Michael was living alone with no family nearby. He was surviving on yogurt and was in constant fear of falling. Steve convinced Michael he could no longer live on his own.
The apartment was very, very special to Michael. He came from homelessness to this apartment. And so the apartment was precious. I think he trusted me when I said it's time to go.
If it wasn't for him, I don't know where I'd be. You know, I have my down days, and he seems to lift things up for me, you know, and just hang in there, Michael. It's going to work, because I've come pretty close to not making it, you know, the way I felt and everything, but he always pops me back up.
The Volunteer Helping Hands program is a community-based, non-medical hospice support program that offers short-term social and emotional support for people of all ages with terminal illnesses.
We knew that the gift was to be there. That's what they're told in training. It's not about you, it's not about me, it's about them. And if you are able to get into their space and go with them, it is magic what happens.
Michael also receives regular visits from Margie Rosario. She's a retired oncology nurse who wanted to continue her work in medicine when she retired. The Volunteer Helping Hands program was a perfect fit for her.
And I was so impressed by their training, being in corporate for as many years as I was, being in meetings, conferences. There was nothing like the training that this organization does. They are so on top of everything. They have everything on time. It was just amazing. And I said, okay, this is where I want to be.
She originally stepped in to help Michael as an occasional backup for Steve, but the relationship has grown into one of trusting friends.
Hi, how are you?
Hazel Strayhorn spent much of her career working in management. She says she's much happier in her role as a CaringMatters volunteer.
How else would I get to know Shahi, who are dealing with a very difficult time of life in a very graceful and admirable fashion. It's inspiring.
Good morning, Mr. Brown Eyes.
She supports the Ahmed family. Shahid Ahmed has Parkinson's and is bedridden and no longer very responsive. He was once an architect, and he is originally from Pakistan. It can be exhausting for his wife, Shahida, but Hazel provides empathy, compassion, and most importantly, friendship.
The first thing, of course, is when she talked to me and asked, you know, what my husband used to do before he got sick and stuff, and what are his interests. And I said he's an avid reader, and by profession he's an architect. And the next time Hazel showed up with the books from the library, all architecture books, building books, and she was showing it to him, and you know, it's unbelievable. When my son and my daughter-in-law came from work, I told them, look at that.
That's what literature can do for us. It reaches out and makes connections.
So, you know, that's the way we got to know each other, and, you know, I found a friend.
Penny Gladhill says it's her job to make sure the Helping Hands volunteers are handling these sensitive situations, that they are okay.
I love email and getting reports, but honestly, I want to talk to them, because when I say, "How are you?" I can tell when they say fine, if they're fine or not. I want that.
Hazel will tell you that volunteering with the Ahmed family has enriched her life. She has learned about the Pakistani culture and the Muslim religion, and the two women discuss the similarities and differences in their families, and in doing so, make important connections that they take back into their communities.
A lot of people don't know, how Pakistan is. Through her, I am giving a message, and she may talk to other people about that. Like if she hears somebody saying, "Oh, Pakistanis are not literate," or whatever, she can say, "No, I met a family. They are different." So people make opinion of who they see, what they experience.
And so it's been my pleasure to learn about those differences.
And as Montgomery County continues to grow, nonprofits like CaringMatters are constantly seeking ways to reach out and provide services to all residents.
I am very limited on the diversity in language and in the culture. If we can draw from this incredible community that we have here in Montgomery County to take our training and to provide that needed support that those families and patients need, we would have everything.
In addition to being a caregiver to Michael, Margie also serves as one of the CaringMatters bilingual volunteers. She does outreach to the Latino community to educate them about the Helping Hands program and other CaringMatters services.
They had talked about getting involved with the Hispanic culture, and I said, well, it's not going to be easy. I said, because they're not going to understand. It's something that you have to work towards, and it's going to take a year or so. I said, but the first thing you need to do is translate all of your documentation. I said, so when you're handing something out, that they understand that there is a Spanish piece to it, that people will at least start feeling comfortable about maybe picking up the phone and calling. And so that's what we did.
Hazel falls into her role as a caregiver easily. Her father died from complications from Parkinson's, so she knows the devastation of the disease.
Even though I have great empathy for the family and for what they're going through, I still don't have the emotional attachment that people in the family have. So I can look at things from that kind of perspective.
But she also knows she has to use that experience to give back, something she says everyone is capable of.
What are your gifts?
Like that? Does that feel good?
What is it that God has given you that you can share? Because the sharing is just wonderful.
And Steve Anderson and Margie Rosario feel the same way.
And this is my friend. I think of him as my friend. I don't think of him as my client or my patient.
Some people live in a world with a lot of coincidences or accidents. Others of us live in a world with miracles.
It's the gift that volunteer brings with them. When it's not about them and they look outside themselves to see, how can I be in that person's space, and then want me to be here.